Hello, my name is Helena Cox and I'm a curator at Beverly Art Gallery and a PhD student at the University of York. And I'm really sorry I cannot be here with you in person today or live online, so I'm actually pre-recording this talk, but I am so deeply honored to be part of this conference and to this wonderful gathering of brilliant minds and great ideas. And it's a great honor for me to be presenting a paper about our upcoming exhibition at Beverly Art Gallery. So because I'm pre-recording this, I just wanted to say hi on full screen, and then I will share my screen with you and start my presentation. So, as I said, it is my great pleasure that I will be talking about Beverly Art Gallery, where I currently work as a curator. The gallery is located in East Riding of Yorkshire in the United Kingdom, and it is run by the East Riding of Yorkshire Council. So it is a public museum and gallery. I have talked about this gallery in here before for the wonderful members of the EAJRS a few years ago, but many of you might have not heard that talk, so I will just mention again that this is the historic building that you can see on your picture and a view of the gallery. The main gallery is the so-called Red Gallery. It is an Edwardian gallery, and we actually specialize in British Victorian and Edwardian art. So you might be asking, where does Japan come into it? But actually, as I will show you shortly, we have amazing links to Japan in the collection. And although we don't have many collection items related to Japan, there is a strong history link, and we really hope we can build onto that and create a wonderful resource for the lovers of Japanese culture across East Riding. And if you're not quite sure where East Riding of Yorkshire is located, just have a look on the map. And I couldn't help and had to include the wonderful coat of arms, our local coat of arms, because I thought it was quite delightful with the maritime and other heraldic symbols. So the link to Japan that I suggested is actually through the very founder of the gallery, John Champney. John Champney founded the gallery in 1906 and then had another part of the gallery added in 1928. So the gallery really has a very beautiful historic Edwardian feel, and we keep that historic look today still, even though the gallery has now expanded and has some contemporary parts of it as well. And it was actually the connection to Marcus Hewish that inspired Champney to fall in love with all things Japanese. Now, Champney was a textile producer and manufacturer. He was like many industries across the north of England. He made his fortune in this industry, and as a very wealthy man, he felt, like many other people in the country at that time, that it was his moral duty to support the well-being and the education and moral and aesthetic uplift of Beverley citizens. And so he did finance and fund the whole building of the gallery and both parts of the gallery. And he also collected art. And a big part of his art collection has then been bequeathed to the gallery. So we do take care of the collection that Champney originally owned. Well, this included some artwork that linked to Japan, and it also includes a series of books by Marcus Hewish, and one of the most famous books would be Japan and Its Art, which was really an instrumental book in bringing information about Japanese art to the British audiences and to worldwide audiences, really. And it was actually Marcus Hewish who was Champney's brother-in-law. So we have a delightful painting in the gallery of Champney's sister who married Marcus Hewish, and Champney together with Hewish were very closely involved with the Fine Art Society in London, which was also a place where Japonism was really thriving, and all information about all things Japanese were being circulated across Britain from there. So this link to Japan through Champney has never really been properly acknowledged or celebrated in the gallery. And that's why we thought that it is time that we do celebrate this. And we do celebrate this in quite an original way. So originally the idea to celebrate Japan in Beverly Art Gallery came with the UK-wide initiative under the umbrella term of Japan-UK Season of Culture, which is an initiative that unites galleries, museums, and events across the whole of United Kingdom, celebrating Japan. And originally this idea was linked to the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Obviously, COVID made a big change in all of that, and we had to change all our plans. So this exhibition that we're just about to open in the gallery was actually originally planned for 2020. So like everyone and everywhere, we had to change everything, but we were determined not to give up and not to let go of this exhibition and have it. And I have to say at this point that this exhibition could never come together without the support of EAJRS, because I came a few years ago to a conference, an EAJRS run conference, and I got a stipend or scholarship to come, which enabled me to come in person and meet everybody, which was amazing. And I'm still very grateful for that. And I met Hamish Todd from the British Library, and we got chatting, and he mentioned that he has a good friend in the East Riding of Yorkshire who collects Japanese toys. And as it so happened, I actually, some years ago now, have written my master's thesis on Japanese toys and on collecting traditional Japanese toys. So you can imagine that my heart and soul lit up. I was absolutely excited to hear this. And I indeed got in touch with Hamish's friend, Jane Arisa. And Jane is indeed an East Riding resident. And she has an amazing collection of almost 300 traditional Japanese toys. So originally when I met Jane, I thought we definitely have to show this exhibition. We have to bring this to Beverley. And because Beverly Art Gallery is a regional gallery, we have certain guidelines as to what exhibitions we show. And very often we like to see some kind of link to the East Yorkshire that gives us more of a that brings kind of more importance into why we show this particular show in Beverley. And so I was absolutely delighted that Jane actually lives not far from Beverley, which enables me to say, look at this amazing collection of Japanese art that nobody knew about, and here it is. Why don't we make use of it? Let's exhibit it in the gallery. As you can see, Jane's collection is incredibly varied, and I'll show you some more pictures. And we've been working with Jane throughout the lockdowns, but I'll tell you a bit more about this now. So just before the lockdown, in your minds, go back to February 2020, so just before it all began. And while I knew Jane and I have seen her wonderful collection, I thought we need to engage young people with this collection, and young people in Britain, but also young people in Japan. And it would be wonderful to see how young people from contemporary Japan react to these very traditional Japanese toys. So we joined forces with Hull University. Hull is a major city which is located not far from Beverley. So Beverley is a smaller town, and Hull is kind of the nearest big city to us. And it has a university, Hull University, which collaborates with Ochanomizu University in Tokyo, in Japan. So we joined forces with them, and we had a group of students come through an exchange program through Hull University, and they came to a workshop at Beverly Art Gallery, and the workshop was run by Jane. So Jane brought loads of her toys into the gallery, and we asked the students to research our collections, but also to research traditional Japanese toys and create a series of presentations for us that we will be able to share in the exhibition. I will show you some more pictures. So the image here on the left is a Japanese art history student, Hinoka Yanagi, who has prepared a presentation about one of the paintings from our collections, which actually features 2 Japanese toys, and it was painted by Fred Elwell. We are actually the UK's biggest collection of Fred Elwell's work, so he is a really important artist to us, and Hinoka has created this this wonderful presentation. So this collaboration really worked both ways. The Japanese students were researching our artwork, and also Jane Arisa's Japanese collection. So there was this wonderful intercultural dialogue going on. And we shot all these presentations, and they will be shown in the exhibition that we're just about to open in Beverley. Then obviously lockdowns happened, and the next batch of Japanese students from Ochanomizu University that we wanted to work with, we couldn't welcome them in person, but we thought nothing is going to stop us. So we held a series of workshops online. We spoke to the students, we asked them to do some research and to present their findings to us. So this is something that has now become a tradition, and we're really determined to keep working with Hull University and with Ochanomizu University. And it really shows that even regional galleries like Beverley have amazing resources that can be really helpful in the kind of intercultural dialogue and in bringing young people from Japan to a different context, to a different aesthetic context, and enable some really fantastic research exchange as well. And then, as I said, as the lockdowns descended upon us, I felt that we need to bring another aspect into the exhibition, and that Jane's wonderful collection of toys will definitely still be the highlight of the exhibition, but that maybe there are more people across the East Yorkshire who are interested in Japan. And for your understanding of the background of this, East Riding of Yorkshire is the biggest county in the UK, but East Riding is a very rural area. So Beverley, which is quite a small town, is actually the main urban part of the area. And East Yorkshire is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. You absolutely have to come and see our lovely landscape. But it is very rural, and there's a number of villages that are scattered across this quite large area, and people often struggle to be connected to cultural happenings and events. So we constantly work on connecting people and bringing people together. And what happened with this exhibition is that during the lockdowns, we've established the gallery's social media, and we did a big call out on social media asking people, if you live in East Yorkshire and you have any connection to Japan, you collect Japanese art, you're into any kind of crafts derived from Japanese culture, let us know, connect with us, let's create a network. And I was really delighted that this really worked out. And in here, what you can see are obviously pictures from after the pandemic, when we could finally all meet in person. And this is not all of the group. This is a very small fraction. We created a group of about 15 people from across the East Yorkshire who have either lived in Japan, studied in Japan, have various collections of Japanese arts and crafts. Not all these collections are necessarily some of them have slightly kind of touristy aspects, but some of them have really interesting and almost treasure-like items in them. So the gentleman you see here with the wonderful calligraphy, he actually teaches at Eton, and he takes the Eton Chapel Choir to Japan every year. And with the choir, he has been invited to the Imperial Court several times, and this is one of the gifts that he has been given at the court, at the Imperial Court. So although it's quite a contemporary calligraphy, it's a fascinating object that really reveals quite a lot about Japanese culture and Japanese society. So I was really delighted that we could widen the focus of the exhibition and invite all these people in. And during the lockdowns, we kept in touch. So again, although we couldn't meet in person, we were constantly in touch, and we were sharing stories from our collection. So this, for example, is Michael Nagasaka, who now works as a cameraman for the BBC in East Yorkshire, but is originally from Japan, and he has a selection of his favorite toys and items from his childhood. So this Daruma, for example, as you can see, it has both eyes painted, meaning that he actually used it when he wanted to get into university, painted one eye and actually got into the university, so painted the other. So these are stories that we can share in the exhibition, and they're very precious because they both tell a cultural story about what is a Daruma doll, how does the tradition with painting the eyes work, but also it has this personal connection of somebody who has actually grown up with this and then moved to East Riding and made East Yorkshire his home. So this was very important for us to bring both of these aspects together. And now I will show you some snippets of the other collections. So this is Rebecca Cross. She is also a member of the group. So she lived in Japan for a number of years teaching English, and she has fallen in love with kimonos, and especially vintage kimonos. So she has created, she has a massive collection of kimono, and she came to the gallery to do a workshop on dressing into kimonos, and she has prepared a series of mannequins for us to use in the exhibition, and written quite a lot of interpretation about them as well. She has taken part in semi-professional competitions in Japan, and although now she works as a nurse, she's actually really dedicated to singing the praises of Japanese traditional fashion. So that's one of the people contributing. What I'm showing you now is that you might be thinking, well, this is interesting, but what is the aspect of the Japanese resources that we're talking about here? So this is an example from an amazing spreadsheet created by Jane Irisa, who meticulously documents all her toys. So she has all the information about when she collected the toys, what are they, their provenance, and she has made all that available to us. And during the lockdown, we have in the gallery, we started a new initiative. Like many other museums, we started creating online exhibitions. So what I'm showing you here is an image from an online exhibition. I can show you a bit more. This is how it looks when you go on our website, and you can find different online exhibitions, and you can also find projects curated by students, because we do love working with university students from wider across the country as well. So what we're planning to do with the Reflections of Japan in East Riding is actually bring all this data about the collection, and also photographs. We had the collection professionally photographed as well, and we are going to bring all that and put it on our website. And so this will create like a catalogue of resources of what collections of Japanese arts and crafts are present in the East Riding of Yorkshire. What are the stories of people that have connections to Japan and collected Japanese art? Also, we have a YouTube channel. So if you go to East Riding Libraries, Museums and Archives, please give us a follow. And we've got a series of videos that we've created with Jane about the toys. So as you can see, this was done in between the lockdowns. Jane is still fully masked, although we do still use masks in the museum at the moment. So we've done a series of very short videos which we have uploaded on YouTube, but we've also uploaded it on our Facebook. And especially on our Facebook, the videos had thousands of views. So one of the videos had over 6,000 views, which for a museum of our size and a very regional institution, that is an amazing success. So it was something that really caught the eye and attention of our visitors. Also, we had amazing press coverage. So there were several articles about Jane's toys in the Yorkshire Post, which is the biggest paper of the region, and many others, a lot of online media as well, a lot of people contacting us, wanting to collaborate on us with this project. So we're working with Hinoka Yanagi, the art historian. We also have an Italian colleague who will be working with us. So we've really created a network, and obviously these videos, although we have published them on our gallery website, they are internationally available because they sit on the internet. So please do feel free to have a browse and click on the links and enjoy our joyful videos. We have a whole channel for Beverly Art Gallery, so you can also have a look at the other things that we have made videos about, so make sure you do click on there. And talking about the future, the reason I'm not showing you any images from the actual exhibition is that we will be installing it very shortly, so it opens on the 16th of October. So fingers crossed, everything will hopefully be even more back to normal then, and we will hopefully be able to have a big launch for the exhibition as well, bringing all the fans of Japanese culture from East Riding together. But most importantly, working on this exhibition for basically 2 years created a really thriving network of people fascinated by Japanese culture. I forgot to mention, we also have a few young people interested in manga and anime who will be creating their own artwork for the exhibition and doing some research on the history of manga. So what we've decided to do is that we want to create a society, an East Yorkshire Yorkshire Japan Society, which will function under the patronage of the gallery and which will bring together people from across East Yorkshire to celebrate all things Japanese and also to celebrate the historic links of the gallery to Japan. So not only that we are bringing together a collection of Japanese arts and crafts and an insight, a deep look into Japanese culture for the exhibition, but we are hoping to create something that will be really sustainable. Resources on our website, but also a group of people that will keep on creating Japanese workshops, bringing in artifacts to exhibit, and hopefully creating research networks in the East Riding of Yorkshire, all centered around celebrating Japan and its culture. So I very much hope that you've enjoyed the presentation and that maybe some of you will be able to come and see the exhibition. I will be very happy to share again images from when we had the exhibition, and hopefully our new Japanese society, in whatever form it takes, hopefully it will be able to stay in touch with everyone at EAJRS. And I'm again very, very humbled that I could speak to all of you today, and I wish you all the very best. See you soon.